Welcome to Channel 6 Scoreboard. My name is Kelly Hayes, and I'm joined with Michael Deere and Gerald Hall. Guys, we watched a really exciting game last night, but the Bears ended up losing a nail-biter to Northwestern State in the Fair Center by 2 points. What stood out to you the most in this game?
Here's my take on the game. So UCA came in winless on the season. Last night showed me that that team, you could not tell if that team had not won a basketball game all year. They played from the first whistle to the last controversial whistle. That team, Northwestern State, they were only 11-9 coming in that game. They kind of played up, played down, but UCA, what stood out to me was you could not tell that team had not won a game all season. They played with a ton of pride, a ton of heart. Yes, they still have to get better at a lot of things, but last night showed me the improvement is here, that they still can play together. They don't have a deep bench, and there's guys that are playing 36 and 37 minutes a game, but they're giving it their all. That's what stood out to me.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Michael here. What stood out to me was definitely how well that they played a complete game. That was probably the most complete team basketball that UCA has played all season. You had contribution from almost everybody that touched the floor. But like you say, there were a couple of problems, a little bit of foul trouble, not responding well to the defensive pressure that Northwestern State would switch up on them, turnovers, things of that nature. But all in all, UCA played a very good basketball game, and they're steadily improving. They've been playing terrific second half basketball, way better than the first half. They dropped 61 points in the second half. That's what stood out to me. That is crazy. They shot well from the floor the whole entire game. They shot very well from the free throw line. They made 13 threes, I believe.
13 threes. Yeah.
13 threes. That's really good shooting. Jordan Howard hit 5 threes on his own. This team is really improving. They're getting better every day. Just because they lost by 2 points, they don't need to hang their heads low. They just need to go out and improve and show the world that they're actually going to be a good team that's going to compete.
Yeah, especially against the number 4 team. I mean, this team came out a completely different basketball team than what we've seen. They played an awesome first half, and I think the big question for everyone was, wow, they played so good in the first half. Are they going to be able to carry it over to the second half? Yeah. And they did, and I think that's a lot of improvement just there.
They're playing the number 4 team in the Southland Conference, who had the top duo in the conference. You had Zeke Woodley, who had a great game. He ended up killing it in the second half. Yeah. You have the best point guard in the conference in Jalen West. Mm-hmm. He came out hot. I mean, to hold them, they had 20. Let's see, Jalen West had a total of 28 points, and Woodley had 24. Not much you're going to be able to do to stop that duo. They score, and that's the second highest scoring team in the country. It's a team that played Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena this year and scored 80-plus points against the Razorbacks. Razorbacks had to score 90-plus to win. This team, for UCA, they got in a style of game where, for a while, it was back and forth. Jaronod called the game, and it was hectic there. You had 25 threes taken in the first half alone. So it was a shooter's ball game. For people to say, well, neither team played defense, there was some defense played last night.
Oh, definitely.
Block shots, there was tons of steals. But you have to give credit to the offense. Both teams' offense played well last night. You had, we said a little bit, foul trouble. My goodness, there was a ton of fouls last night. So both teams, Northwestern State came in 14th in the nation in free throw shooting, and last night they shot 20 of 27. UCA shot 20 of 25. So at least I'm glad to see that those numbers were even, not one team shooting more free throws than the other. But they've got to learn to finish a little bit more. But 47 points in the first half, and then to finish the game with 108 points, that's awesome. Of course, you want to pick up your defense a little bit and be able to handle the pressure that they throw at you. But from a shooting standpoint, last night, they can build on that. Thatch Unruh came out hot, had 5 quick points. Really was kind of non-existent after that, but Matthew Cambo steps up.
Right.
Albert Christensen, last night during the game, he kept driving to the hoop. He had a couple misses, a couple of bad layups that would hit the rim and roll off. But overall, everyone, like you said, Gerald, everyone contributed. The crowd was big last night. The crowd got them pumped up. Mike Martin would hit a 3. He'd look to the stands, and the crowd was into it. There was chance of defense. Coach Pennell was fired up on the sidelines. So if there was a ticky-tack foul called, he had some great emotion last night. It was the emotion that was there last night that I really like to see from this team.
Yeah, and you really can't blame the Bears on this loss. They gave it their all on that court to the final whistle. That last call, it's kind of controversial. You wrapped up, you're trapping the player in the corner. 5 seconds left, there's a no call. I mean, I think you should either blow the whistle for a foul, blow the whistle for a jump ball, but that's debatable. That's a whole nother topic. But it's like you said, they relied heavily on that crowd as well. That crowd was pumped up. I've never seen a crowd in recent UCA basketball games that was so into the game and so riled up as the crowd was last night. And also, like you said, everybody contribute. Matthew Campbell, he's big game, big 16 points off the bench. He is athletic.
He's a freak. He is.
Yeah.
He is a freak of nature. He is probably one of the most athletic players on that UCA roster. The things that he was doing, grabbing rebounds, starting to break, putting tip-backs in, just doing everything he could to get his team riled up. Jordan Howard had a huge three that seemed like he took that from the Pulaski County line. Nothing but net. Like this is a really good basketball team, and they're really showing their chemistry together, and that they're improving every day. So I don't think they need to hang their heads low. They just got to come out and just improve.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I noticed last night is that UCA had answers for everything that Northwestern did, and that's something that we haven't seen. We see UCA play good for 1 or 2 minutes and then make a few turnovers and then kind of falter off to that 3-minute stretch where nothing happens.
Right.
But yesterday they turned the ball over and then they come back and get a steal. Northwestern hit a three, they come back and hit a three. So they were fighting the entire time, no matter what happened.
Yes, they were, and they cannot feel down about themselves. And you got a team in New Orleans going to be coming in here pretty soon, and for you to take the momentum from this game is going to be huge to see if it can carry over, because that was the 2 best halves they have put together this season by far.
For sure. Well, the Bears had 5 players score double figures and also had players contribute with assists and rebounds. Did this game show the amount of potential the young Bears team has?
Definitely. The potential that this Bears team has is through the roof right now. Like, it was such a complete game. I was just surprised by how much everybody contributed to the glass. Like you said, Thatch Unruh, 5 quick points. But I never thought that was going to happen. He even started. I never would have thought that Thatch Unruh would get a start for the Bears. Also, Matthew Campbell coming off the bench with 16 points, leading the bench scorers. Matthew Campbell with 11. Jordan Howard hitting the big shots with 27 points. Mike Martin, a double-double, 23 points, 10 assists. He had a terrific game. He was all over the floor. He was scrappy, tenacious. He did whatever he could to be that vocal leader for the Bears. The Bears' potential right now is through the roof. Like you said, that momentum needs to carry over into the New Orleans game on Saturday if they want to have that success, because if they play the way that they did last game, then I actually think that first win will come this Saturday.
You can tell the team is so hungry for a win. Like I said last night, every loose balls, you got guys on the floor, tie-up situations, crashing the offensive glass. Matthew Campbell comes off the bench, fools around, and almost puts up a double-double. Albert Christensen comes in. Albert Christensen was, 3 of 5 from the field. That's what you want from someone coming off the bench. You don't have to have big minutes. The potential's there. The worry that this team is the depth kind of hurts them. Joel Fiegler came in for 2 minutes, and non-existent 2 minutes. Ethan Lee, for the one returning player, I guess I expected more because he was a returning player. He had 10 minutes last night. I like the progress of the big man down low, Jake Zulhoff. Yeah. Last night, like you said, they had an answer for everything. If Jalen West would go down and shoot up a quick 3, UCA would get back into a set, work the shot clock down to 15, and Jake Zulhoff was working hard last night down low, trying to get those over-the-shoulder passes where he would seal his guy off at the free throw line and try and get an easy layup. And sometimes it worked. Other times Northwestern State would have a good defense. They'd swing over and end up blocking a shot or something like that. But Jake Zulhoff would have the presence of mind if he knew a double team was coming to kick it out. So the things that earlier in the season they probably wouldn't have done, it'd have been a turnover. They get down to Zulhoff and maybe a walk, or he puts up a shot, doesn't get it. Last night turned into let's find the open three-point shooter. They had several possessions where I think everybody on the court touched the ball before a shot went up. I think Coach Pennell's getting the ideas and his philosophies across, but like we said, the one thing, and we're going to talk about it more, the pressure is it's that one thing a game you can kind of point to. They were up 12, and the crowd's into the game. In their minds, they're thinking, we cannot let this go. We're up 12 on a team at home. We haven't won a game this season. Let's finish out. The pressure got to him a little bit, a mistake here and there, a lot of turnovers, but we all agree the potential is certainly there. This is, like I said, this is a team that someone from North Carolina would have came to the game last night, sat down, and had no information about either team, you would not have said, well, this team's winless and this team's 11-9. You would have thought both these teams are middle to the top of their conference.
Right.
It was an aggressive, fun basketball game to watch.
Yeah, I've said from the very beginning, this team has so much potential. The core group that plays the majority of the minutes, everyone can score. They can all play really good defense. And like you said, you wouldn't know that this team was winless by the way that they played last night, and they are perfectly capable of coming out every game and playing that way. They're really good in their half-court set offense. They got to work on things like turnovers, handling the pressure, things like that. You know, handling the pressure is a huge one because teams see that and they see that they can't handle the pressure, so they put the press on for 5 minutes. UCA turns the ball over 10 times, and now they're blew their 12-point lead.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen every single time.
And there were moments last night in the game where we thought UCA was up in that 5 to 10 point mark in that range, and they'd take a shot with 23 seconds on the shot clock. It'd be a three by Howard, and I think you made a comment. That's just not the shot they needed there. At certain times, they've got to learn, we're up 6, let's milk this a little bit. We have to try and get an open shot. Now, of course, if it gets down to 5 seconds on the shot clock, somebody's going to have to make a play. But don't force yourself into the early mistakes, because what Northwestern State wanted to do last night, if UCA took a 3, they had 2 guys running down the court, and they were out to the races. As soon a long rebound turned into 2 quick points easily. Yeah,
easily. It was definitely a game of running, a fast-paced game, very high-powered tempo. Guys were getting out on the glass, and then as soon as that rebound hit, you'll see 2-3 players zoom down the court for that easy transition bucket. You also saw a very aggressive game from UCA. I was surprised to see how aggressive just all the players were. Jordan Howard, he'll take his defender off the dribble, drive to the lane, get fouled. Albert Christensen did the same thing. A lot of players were being aggressive, trying to get to the free throw line and getting those easy buckets. Also, one thing that I did notice was that on Northwestern State side, they would drive to the bucket, penetrate, kick out to the corner.
Corners. How many corner threes did they have last night?
Man, see, it's too many to count. And they went to it over and over again. They even switched it up in the second half and went to the opposite side of the corner. UCA did not have an answer for that at all. That was only the one thing that I would say that UCA needs to improve on is their offense. Not their offense, but their defensive rotation, moving their feet, being quicker, communicating quicker. Because if you got corner specialists on the opposite team, they're just going to sit there. They're not going to move on the court.
No.
You got to keep an eye on them at all times because that's what they're just coming in to do. They're just coming in to stand that corner and just catch that ball and shoot.
Especially a team Northwestern State, we noticed they're by no means are they a big team.
Right.
They had one guy, I believe, at 6'9" or taller, so it was an even matchup for UCA, and it was the guys in the wings. It was the Woodley who would find himself open. It was Matt Killian who came in and was 4 of 4. Trayvon Joseph, welcome. I mean, the guys that were setting up, and that was a great point because UCA would get sucked into the middle, kick out, and it was a 3-point barrage last night.
Yeah. Well, the Bears had 21 turnovers compared to Northwestern State's 8. Was this ultimately the reason that the Bears lost?
I think it is, and it's ultimately because of that pressure that Northwestern State. They played full court man. They played a full court zone. And as we were calling the game, I said, I think right now the toughest problem for UCA is getting the ball inbounded. They had a 5-second call. It was a pass off of Jake Zulhoff hand here. And several times Jake Zulhoff had to catch the inbounds pass. Your center was having to catch the ball to inbound it just for UCA to get it. And all Northwestern State wanted to do was take that 8 to 10 seconds off the shot clock. UCA to finally get down the half-court set, and there's 23, 25 seconds on the shot clock. And that just forces UCA to play a different offensive game because what Northwestern State wanted to do is they wanted to run last night. UCA played to that style, and Northwestern State welcomes anybody who wants to run with them. They'll easily put up 100 points.
Yeah, exactly. Turnovers was definitely a main reason why they lost. Having 20 turnovers, that's not going to help you at any cost of any type of ball game. And it's like you said, the defensive pressure, they didn't respond well to the many defensive schemes that Northwestern State had for UCA. Like you said, we'll see a full court press, and then we'll see a trap, we'll see man, we'll see zone. They switched it up so much that UCA really couldn't just get settled into their offense because they was always just focusing on how to get the ball in bounds. And it was actually interesting because before the game you had asked what would UCA need to do defensively, right. And I said that they would need to actually switch up the defense, but it was the total opposite on that end. But also another reason why they lost is foul trouble. Jake Zuloff fouled out. You had, let's see here, Boo Milligan had 4 fouls. Thatch Unruh had 4 fouls. Mike Martin had 4 fouls. And Matthew Campbell off the bench had 3 fouls. These were people that were putting up major buckets for you. You gotta protect them. You can't have silly little fouls here and there. I know it's gonna be some kind of questionable calls that the refs make, and I mean that's debatable. That's in every basketball game practically, but you got to play smarter defense, and you got to be better on the wing and on the perimeter and down low, to where you can have players just go in there and impose their will and get your star players in foul trouble. Because then, like you said, UCA doesn't have that deep of a team. You keep on rotating players in and out. That's not going to help them at all either.
And you've played at this level, college basketball. If I'm a team watching the tape from last night's game, I'm pressing UCA every second of the game.
Yeah, from the very tip off, like get up by 20, like then you can sit back and play defense, and
Exactly.
you know they're not going to be able to come back from a 20-point deficit after they turn the ball over 20 times. You know, it's just not going to work.
For Coach Pendle and the coaching staff, they've got to figure out a way in these next couple practices. We're going to run press against you, and we're going to figure out how we're going to break this. And it's not one way to break it, because as soon as you figure out the one way, that team will play, all right, we're going to trap on the third pass. And I mean, the college basketball, as people want to say, oh, it's just as easy as dribbling the ball up and down the court. And no. And at this level of basketball, they're going to find a way to get you to turn the ball over. And last night, Northwestern State did that with ease.
Yeah, they got to find a way to beat that press, because that was really the only thing that killed them and brought Northwestern State back into the game. They'll press, get a steal, get an easy bucket. On the other end, press, get a missed shot, transition, easy bucket. It was just like clockwork for Northwestern State. Once UCA finds a way to beat that press, they'll become a better basketball team.
Well, a 12-point lead, and it was gone maybe in three minutes game time. It was just that quick. And a 12-point lead for this team should feel like a 30-point.
Oh yeah.
They should never ever give it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no doubt that this game was the best that UCA has played so far this season. What do you think the Bears can take away from this game and to help them move forward this season?
Well, I was happy with the out-rebound in Northwestern State. Even though I said they were a smaller team, that means you need to beat them on the boards. They had 37 boards for UCA. They out-rebounded Northwestern State 37-30. Northwestern State did have more offensive rebounds, and at times those were big, but I was proud of the rebounds. The free throws were there. Yes, it's hard to say you go perfect from the line. I know Northwestern State in their game before UCA, they were 23 of 25 from the line. If UCA goes 23 of 25 from the line, they win by 1 point. Easy to say that. And I'm also proud of Matthew Campbell off the bench. He is my player. I believe in the beginning of the season I said, that's my guy to watch out for, because Gerald and I during the broadcast, he is the most physically imposing player I think we have on our team. He might not be 6'10", 280 pounds, but he's 6'6", 6'7", is athletic and is just ripped. He's built, and I think he's an X factor for this team, because he can shoot the mid-range jumper, and he loves to drive. He's a physical player. Last night he was crawling over people to get offensive rebounds, getting his own miss, getting everybody else's misses. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, the thing I take away from this game is that UCA, it was the way that UCA played in the second half. We know many times it's not the first half of the game that UCA plays, because they can always compete in the first half, but usually in games we'll see UCA come out in the second half and just get totally dismantled. And they actually outscored Northwestern State in the second half, which was surprising, 61 points like we had mentioned earlier. And like you said, the X factor, Matthew Campbell, he is a freak of nature. I can't just quit talking about it. Like he had probably the most impressive game from any Bear that I've seen all season.
Yep.
Just the things that he was doing on the court, he was all over the court. He had his hand in everything. You could actually tell that he was trying to carry this team on his back and be an X factor and be that person that was gonna let the team know that I'm here for them. And if anything else is gonna have to be Jake Zuloff. Jake Zuloff had 3 big blocks, and he was just a defensive powerhouse down low. He did everything that he could to get those rebounds, to disrupt shots. And I mean, yeah, he fouled out, but anyway, moving forward though, UCA is going to be a very good team because they're coming together now, and we're seeing it with the more and more that they play. They're getting more comfortable with the coaching staff. They're getting more comfortable with each other. And for for next year and the year after that, if they continue to play this style of play, I think they got to play this style of play, because this is definitely the most that they flourished all season.
Yeah.
But if they continue to play with this style and they find a way to break presses, get to the foul line, shoot better at the foul line, not foul as much, not turn the ball over as much, things of that nature, they're going to be like a team of Northwestern State right now. Like, they're fourth in the conference, right? They can actually be a team that can be in that top tier, middle tier of the Southland Conference.
Yeah, I agree with you. This team chemistry is really coming together. And what I think UCA can take away from this game is confidence. They didn't win the game, but they played the number 4 team in the conference to 2 points. And we've been talking all show about all the good things that they've done. They have some things to work on, but they're perfectly capable of winning basketball games. And they're going to look back at this game, and if they come out with the same attitude, like, we're going to fight the entire time, that they're going to get their first win soon, and their future's looking really bright.
Like I said, the teams are going to be looking at tape and what to do against UCA. At the same time, UCA kind of sent a message out to the league last night. Hey, we're winless, but overlook us.
Don't
and we
overlook
might
us.
beat you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that game was at home, but
And I like that you mentioned that they could take away confidence from this game because besides from that run that Northwestern State had, they were on their heels all game. I don't think Northwestern State expected to go into the Ferris Center last night and play 0-18 UCA to 2 points. I think maybe they were gonna come out here, gonna run through them because, like, at first, only Jalen West was kind of only just putting up buckets for Northwestern State. But then you saw UCA getting back into the game, and then that's when you saw Zeke Woodley starting getting involved. Like, hey, whoa, this is not gonna happen. Y'all not gonna beat us. So confidence and just overall preparation is something that the Bears can actually take from this game and actually continue to move forward on.
And before long, it'll be the Bears that have those 2 players that will be. I mean, last night, seeing Jordan Howard and Mike Martin, they have 2 guards that played well and scored 24 points.
Yeah, they competed.
Each.
Yeah, they matched up with them very
Before
well.
long, it could be Mike Martin and Jake Zulhoff could be the big guard and big man combo in the league.
Right. Well, the Bears play the University of New Orleans this Saturday in the Ferris Center. What are you looking forward to most about this matchup, and what do you think the outcome is going to be?
Well, I look forward to seeing how UCA will respond to actually coming off of this game. You know, they like we've been saying, we've been praising them all game about the way that they played, and just getting involved early. Like, they got to a hot start early. They gotta have a hot start again. They gotta find a way to be more defensively sound. Don't foul as much. Don't have to turn over the ball as much. Gotta communicate more. I want to see more help, not only from the bench, not only from Boo Milligan off the bench, but maybe even Albert Christensen can step in and get double figures. Ethan Lee, he's been on the team. You know, you got to hold him to a high standard and hold him accountable for the way that he's been playing. But I think it really just depends on the Bears. I can't say an outcome right now, but I would hope for a win. But we just have to see. You got to see how the Bears come out.
They lost on the road at New Orleans 87-67. I want to see them. Well, I'd love to see them win, of course, but I don't want to see a 20-point loss at home. You want to see that one. You lose to Northwestern State by 2. It's easy to say you should beat New Orleans. I want to see that game in the 80s. I want to see another good offensive game, but I want to see UCA improve on the things that killed them in this game. I want to see getting the ball inbounded. I don't want Jake Zulhoff having to get the ball. I want him down low, getting ready to post up in the paint. I want the guards to be able to take care of their business. I want to see a game where Mike Martin and Jordan Howard don't have to dribble around for 20 seconds, try and find something, end up shooting a 3. And last night they made the 3s. I want to see a little bit more movement. I liked what I saw from Thach Unruh at the very beginning of the game. He had good ball movement. It seemed like he was keyed into the game, and if teams don't show respect to him, he's got such a quick release, he can make any shot he gets. And I want to see Thach Unruh come out, be more consistent for an entire game. I don't want to see a good start and then it's like, well, where'd he go? When you have 9 guys on a team and one guy comes out and gives you 5 quick points and is non-existent, you're down to 8. Yeah. And when one of the guys Joel Fiegler, he plays 2 minutes, you're down to 7. Ethan Lee only plays 10 minutes. 3 of his 4 points are from the free throw line. You're down to 6. I mean, I want to see the entire team, and it doesn't have to be everybody score double digits. No, Mike Martin, give us 15 to 20. Jordan Howard, 12 to 15. I want to see Fiegler get involved a little bit. I mean, I've seen him in games this year. He has a nice little fadeaway jumper.
Yeah.
The inside-out game impressed me last night in that game. I want to see that build up more because teams are going to have to start respecting that because what we saw last night is we have 3 dead-eye shooters. Martin Howard and Thaddeus Unruh
Yeah.
at any time can hit a big three.
Yeah, you
so
definitely gotta
it's just the
respect that
roles
shot.
have to become. They're starting to define the roles now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo Milligan, I thought that was a great call to bring him off the bench when Russ Pendle did. Boo Milligan hit a three from the corner. He's much like a Matthew Kamba, except he can shoot a little bit better outside. Matthew Kamba and Albert Christensen, I love their attack coming into the game. Coach Pendle said drive to the basket, get fouled, go to the line. And that's exactly what they did. So keep building on the things that you did well. At the same time, fix the one or two things. Like inbounding the ball should not be a problem for a college basketball team. Last night was atrocious trying to inbound the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I like that you mentioned the word consistency. This Bears team hasn't been overall consistent this year. If they could be more consistent, practice on the things that they've been doing well. Like you said, like the saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, you like the inside out game. You give the ball to Jake Zuloff. He gets double teamed. He kicks it out to Mike Martin or Jordan Howard for the three. That's 3 easy points. Thaddeus Unruh, get involved more. You know, be more vocal, be more aggressive. Call for the ball. Do those type of things. Boo Milligan, keep coming off the bench and being a scrapper, being tenacious and being all over the floor. Like, this is a really good Bears team, and they know that they're really good, but they got to come out and show it to the world. Because I mean, we could talk about it all day, but actions speak louder than words.
That's right.
Yep.
And for a team full of freshmen, once the calendar hit to 2015, you're almost a sophomore at this point. When you're a true freshman in a Division I school and you're getting as much playing time as these freshmen are,
time to grow
in
up.
value, I mean, that's crazy. Most freshmen around the country would kill to have played this much. And so this experience, you can see, it's getting better. It's starting to click. The wheels are turning in their heads, and it's a matter of time.
It is. Well, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Gerald. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us after for more scoreboards.